Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 36, Ash and Go, Climb Your Way Out of Sand Hell. Quite the interesting name there. This was the 1121st episode of the Pokémon anime. This was another one of those instances when people are probably more excited about the preview for the next episode than what actually happened this week. But I still actually enjoyed Ash and Go's impromptu trip to Hoenn, and I'm excited to run through the highlights and then jump into my review. The episode starts with Ash running with Pikachu and Riolu in order to train for his next World Coronation Series battles, and since he and Riolu want to get their revenge after losing to B. Speaking of which, I just released a very detailed analysis and prediction video about Ash and B's upcoming rematch, so make sure you check that video out when you get a chance. I'll make sure it's one of the videos linked at the end of this one, so don't worry about jumping over to it right now. Back to this episode where Ash conveniently gets a ranked battle request, and, what a coincidence, it's Riolu vs Octillery, another octopus. Ash gets in his own head here, telling Riolu to not get too close since he's concerned about getting wrapped up by its tentacles. Riolu is kind of thrown off by the strategy since basically its entire battling style is up close and personal, but it listens to Ash nonetheless. This great strategy leads to a very quick defeat, which drops Ash's rank and his confidence even further. No need to worry though, another battle request conveniently pops up and Ash is once again determined to make amends for his losses. This time Riolu is up against a Tentacruel, another octopus, squid, whatever is close enough to a Graplock to make Ash freak out. Even when Riolu charges in and has a clear shot at Tentacruel, Ash is too scared and tells it to back off, which confuses Riolu before his opponent takes full advantage and wipes the floor with them. After that defeat, Ash has fallen out of the super class and back into the normal class, and his self-confidence may as well be zero. Meanwhile, over in Mauville City, there's a literal sand tornado covering part of the area entirely in sand, and instead of freaking out about this thing that's right in front of them, the citizens are kind of just staring at it before a sound that kind of sounds like a song lures them into the sand. Weird. They hear about this strange occurrence back at the Cerise laboratory, and Go is fired up to go investigate since he's guessing a Pokemon must be behind this. Ash is in the fetal position over in the corner after a string of losses, but Go drags him along on their adventure to Hoenn regardless. Remember when it used to be a big deal when people would travel to different regions? Now, Ash and Go basically teleport to a different region at will. Maybe transportation has just gotten better since back in the day when Ash used to take sketchy hot air balloons or other slower forms of travel. Also, I was surprised to see Mauville City looking like just a normal town instead of the crazy futuristic city that it's portrayed as in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Not sure why they made this change, but like I said, it kind of just looks like a normal town in the anime. The boys and their Pokemon put their Go goggles on and they make their way into the sandstorm, only to find the classic TV trope of quicksand endangering the people that we saw earlier in the episode. They deal with this pretty easily since Go's Pokeball throwing technique is enough to capture the Trapinch that was causing this. The citizens leave the sandstorm as casually as they entered it, but Ash and Go make their way deeper into the storm to look for whatever is causing this mess. After catching a Vibrava, Go and Ash come to the conclusion that a Flygon must be the cause of this whole ordeal, and here comes a very intimidating looking Flygon, and maybe it was just the camera angles, but this Flygon looked pretty massive to me. This whole encounter almost felt like they were challenging a legendary Pokemon that was controlling the environment, but really it was just a regular Flygon. Still, I thought the scene was pretty cool. Go asks Ash to help him battle it in order for him to catch it, but Ash is straight up useless at this point, and Go has to do everything himself. Sobble does its best until it needs to get subbed out before it starts to cry, and now it's up to Reboot to try and take Flygon down with Ember. Ash, still struggling with the whole idea of battling a Pokemon without getting too close, is pretty amazed by Go's tactics with Reboot. Eventually, they counter Flygon's Draco Meteor by climbing up the meteors, which leaves Ash speechless, even though this is the same person who came up with the Rock Tomb climb technique back in Kalos. Reboot even uses one of the meteors as a rock to launch an Ember attack, and it downs Flygon, allowing Go to catch it. I thought for a second that Reboot may even evolve after this, since this was the best he's looked, well, ever. Then, Go turns the tables on his mentor Ash by being the one to give him advice. He credits Ash for teaching him how to never give up during a battle, and to always look for a new, crazy way to get the upper hand. He even says that they couldn't just give up after losing a few times, and that seems to finally break through to Ash. Ash realizes that his defeat to Graplock changed his battling style, and that's what's been costing him matches recently. Ash and Riolu have always trained to use close quarters physical attacks, and he shouldn't give up on battling like that. He starts laughing like he did during the Alola League Finals versus Gladion, and Go is as shocked as his friends were back then. Ash promises to Pikachu and Riolu to refocus and get back on track towards challenging Leon, and Go vows to catch more Pokemon. All's well that ends well, I guess. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10 rating. Ash's quickfire losses to start the episode got the point across pretty well that Ash is taking this defeat against B pretty hard. He was eager to get back to winning ways. Grapplock's devastating Octolok clearly put some kind of mental block on Ash, and his battling style suffered because of this. We've seen Ash do stuff like this before in the anime where he starts to question himself and try to change up his strategy, but it basically never works. By the end of this episode, Ash had his head back on straight, and he seems to realize what he needs to do in order to defeat B. The way he came to that realization, though, was what made me enjoy this episode so much. For the entirety of Pokémon Journeys, Go has been learning from Ash, and he has been amazed by his craziness and how he'll think outside of the box in order to win a battle. This is the first time Go has seen Ash lose that spark and determination, and like the good friend he is, Go got him out of that funk. Also, it's been an underreported story that Go has become a pretty skilled battler, and this episode really showed this off. He defeated the Kanto karate master off screen, but we actually got to see his battling acumen with our own eyes this time. Sobble and Reboot were not great matchups against that Flygon, but they managed to use some of their own craziness in order to defeat it and then catch it. Reboot pulling off Draco Meteor Climb was especially powerful to me, since it's literally something Ash has done before, even though Go doesn't know that. I criticized episode 32 of Pokémon Journeys because we didn't really see any character development from Go in my opinion, but I really liked this episode because it's shown just how much Go has grown, not only as a Pokemon trainer, but as a friend too. I've said since the start of Ash's World Coronation series journey that I was looking forward to Ash losing for the first time because I wanted to see how he responded from this defeat. Episodes like this are exactly why I said that, because even though Ash got inside his own head and was unnecessarily bad in his first 2 battles this week, seeing him come to his senses and promise to his Pokemon that they'll get back on track is exactly what I wanted to see out of him. Now, the question is, will this be enough for him to get his revenge on B in their rematch? Leave me your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. I've really liked how much conversations I've been able to have in the comments on my recent videos, so join in on the fun and let me know what you think. Okay, finally time to talk about the next episode, which will be Ash's long-awaited return to Alola. I'm super excited about this, but maybe not as much as some people. I said this will be Ash's long-awaited return to Alola, but it really hasn't been that long since he left. It looks like he'll jump right back into things, reuniting with Kukui, his Pokemon, and all of his friends. Apparently, the reason they're going to Alola is so Go can see an Alolan Executor, but I get the feeling Ash and Go are going to experience a whole lot more than just that. Unfortunately, I get the feeling that they may try to squeeze too much into this episode, but I'm really excited nonetheless. What are you looking forward to most about Ash's return to Alola next week? I hope we get to see his Incineroar in action since we never got to see it in battle after it evolved. Thank you all so much for watching this review. Like I mentioned earlier, my new video is out where I went in depth on Ash and B's upcoming rematch, so check that one out, I promise you'll enjoy it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and follow me over on Twitter. I'll see you guys next time.